What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and apparently Elon Musk has really riled up all of the activists who are currently LARPing as Lord of the Rings fans. Yes, these people are in a frenzy, almost as if they really cared about Tolkien, almost as if they really respected Tolkien and the body of work he left behind. But we know that's not the case. In fact, they view Tolkien as some bigot, some bad guy from years past, in the before times, the times we don't want to speak about, when everyone was just racist and bad. These people hate Tolkien. And when you point out the fact that the Rings of Power has nothing to do with Tolkien, that it is a poor, laughable example of what even a reimagining of Tolkien would be, these people get so upset. But here's what Elon Musk had to say on Twitter. I find it absolutely hilarious. I mean, he kept it short, simple, and sweet, but he said Tolkien is turning in his grave. Almost every character so far, or every male character so far, is a coward, a jerk, or both. Only Galadriel is brave, smart, and nice. Oh, and 90% of my comments are bots. Now that's the part that took me out, because it's true. Twitter is full of bots. But you know what? I actually disagree with some of what Elon said here. If you ask me, Elon is kind of being nice. Because right here, he says that Galadriel is brave, smart, and nice. In my opinion, maybe she's brave in the show, but she's not smart. She dived off a boat into the ocean thinking that she was going to swim across an entire ocean home. That's a really dumb decision. She hasn't been nice to anyone. She's come across as a complete cunt throughout the entire show. I haven't seen a likable scene with her. In fact, the one scene in which I thought that she was going to come across as more of a likable character, she completely did a 180 and winded up being a complete bitch by the end of that scene. And it just threw all of the rest of the scene in the garbage, because, oh, okay, here she is once again acting like a complete and utter wench. But of course, these comments, they got the internet in an uproar. Because now all of these fake woke activists, they all want to pretend they're Tolkien fans all of a sudden. Never mind the fact they haven't been talking about Tolkien or Lord of the Rings over the past decades. But now all of a sudden, because the Rings of Power has introduced diversity into Tolkien's world, now all of a sudden, all of these woke idiots in Hollywood, all of these SJWs, are suddenly fans of the Lord of the Rings? Since when? Since when has any of these people been part of the fandom? And even the people that were, they never had this mindset back then. They only formed this mindset recently. Because if you were ever a fan of Tolkien or Lord of the Rings, then you already knew that diversity wasn't a part of that story, or at least diversity the way you see it. Middle-earth was very diverse. There was different races and creatures and you name it. It just didn't have the type of diversity that SJWs are looking for in modern day. So if you were really a fan of Tolkien and Tolkien's work in The Lord of the Rings, then obviously that SJW mindset didn't play a factor for you back then, because that way of thinking hadn't been introduced to you yet. But I want to read to you some of the comments that are coming from these blue check mark weirdos. I don't know Elon Musk. When I think of Galadriel, I think badass female warrior with the sword. Newsflash, buddy. You just exposed the fact that you have no idea what you're talking about. If that's what you think of when you envision Galadriel, then obviously you haven't really read the books. Obviously you don't have an understanding of who this character is. I mean, for heaven's sake, even if you watched Peter Jackson's trilogy, you shouldn't have gotten that impression from those movies. So I don't know what this dude's talking about. It's very obvious that he's not a fan of Tolkien. He didn't read the books, probably didn't even watch the Peter Jackson trilogy. The only thing he's worried about is the Rings of Power. Because the Rings of Power is woke. And their only fans, the only people who are really clinging to the show are woke idiots who are there just to applaud the propaganda that has been pushed in this show. Let's see what someone else has to say. Oh man, not Joe Vargas from the Angry Joe show? Man, I kind of liked a lot of the Angry Joe show reviews. I feel like sometimes he was kind of honest in his reviews. At the very least, I never viewed him as a shill like a lot of the people over at Collider and stuff. But this is disappointing. Let's see what he has to say. Not even close to being true. Are you just pissed Galadriel killed the troll herself or something? Seriously, get off that ridiculous anti-woke train. It's embarrassing. Wow, Joe. That doesn't sound like something I thought Joe would say. It's funny because some people, they will still criticize shows and movies and say they don't like them. They'll even point out things they don't like about those movies. But then they don't even realize that the reason you don't like that movie and the reason you have these complaints is because of the wokeness that has taken over Hollywood. Half of the movies that Angry Joe has gone on angry rants about, the reason they're bad is because of the woke mentality in Hollywood. Creators no longer just create without having to check a bunch of different boxes. They have to make weird, crazy, just off-the-wall decisions within these movies and TV shows to fit certain propaganda and narratives that are being pushed by a certain political party. So a lot of people still will not accept the fact that, the reason half of these movies are garbage nowadays, Angry Joe, the reason the Halo show was so bad is because of woke nonsense. Most of the things that you have complained about over the past 4 or 5 years, they have all been affected by woke nonsense. I know you want to cling on to a certain political party because you want to hang on the fence and you don't want to piss off a certain portion of your fan base. But let's be honest here, Joe. But let's take a look at what some other idiots have to say. The Lauren Show says, Galadriel is my absolute fave. The way she just dove into the sea, she could have forever been at peace. Forever. But nope, she knew. Wow, just got chills. I'm here just for her now. Is this parody? We have officially reached that point in our society where, honestly, and I'm a pretty sarcastic person, I can't even pick up on sarcasm anymore the way I used to. I don't know what's parody, what's fiction, what's the truth. I don't know anymore. This reads to me like parody, but it also reads to me like one of Like how these woke idiots sound who just praise anything. Galadriel's my absolute fave. The way she just dove into the sea. The stupidest thing I've ever seen in any movie or television show. Just dive into the sea and swim across the world. That was basically her diving into her death, honestly. Now, of course, the showrunners are going to write something in there to save her. But I'm just saying that wasn't a smart decision at all. That was really dumb. And it's one of those Mary Sue things. Like, oh, our character is so overpowered. Don't worry, she could dive in the ocean and swim all the way home for thousands upon thousands of miles. Don't worry. And when someone says that they get chills, I just automatically think they're an SJW at this point. Because they love saying, this gave me chills. The feels. No, there's no chills and no feels coming out of the Rings of Power. Let's be honest. It is totally dry. There is no emotion there. There's nothing in that show that evokes an emotional response, or any type of response for that matter, from anyone. Period. Oh, look. Doug Benson, he's upset at Elon Musk as well. If you are mad about people of color participating in your favorite white people story, maybe you should go to space and stay there. Man, these Hollywood idiots, they can't wait. They live for these moments. They live for these moments when they can say, hey, you're racist. You're bad. Because that's what they use to try to make themselves look better, because they're shitty people. Only shitty people sit online all day, patiently waiting for a chance to criticize someone and call them a phobe or an ist. But that's what these people do. And trust me, you can go to the comment section under Elon's tweets, and there's so much cringy comedy gold there. I could go over it all day. But I'm not. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. But I encourage you all, if you need to laugh, if you need to see how delusional people are, go read these comments. People are complete idiots. And they also all expose themselves as fake Tolkien fans, pretenders, LARPers. None of them have any grasp or idea of what Tolkien left behind. They don't understand it. And I'll take it one step further. I don't think it's even that they don't understand it. It's just they have no idea about any of it. They never read any of it. They don't care about any of it. The only reason they're pretending to care now is because now they could use this as an opportunity to virtue signal and to point fingers at people. And Elon Musk captured it perfectly when he said, those who claim any criticism of Rings of Power means you're racist are outing themselves as closet racist. And that is true. That is very true. I am not an Elon Musk fanboy. I don't really care about famous billionaires. But when it comes to famous billionaires, there's no denying the fact that Elon Musk is about the only one that is willing to at least call out some of the woke craziness that these big corporations in Hollywood are trying to enforce upon us. But I want to know your thoughts about this. What do you think about this? I want you all to feel free to express yourselves down in my comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all on the next video.